Hi everybody, this is Alex from Saville Library, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Ancestry Library Edition. So in this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Ancestry Library Edition is, how you can log into it, what you'll need to log into it, and I'll show you some tips and tricks for searching through their records and finding some of your relatives and some of your family history. So what is Ancestry Library Edition? It is a massive database of billions of genealogical records, including census data, city directories, and photos that you can view with your Saville Library card right from the Saville Library website. You will need your library card number and password to access it, which I will explain how to get those if you don't already know them. Normally, Ancestry Library Edition can only be accessed within Saville Library using our public computers. However, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ancestry has opened up their Library Edition to be able to be accessed from home as well. So I'll explain how you can access Ancestry Library Edition in this video as well. And we'll wrap up by sharing some tips and tricks for best search practices. So let's get started. Alright, so before we can get started, we're going to need to know our library barcode and password. The password you probably set up when you first got your library card. If you don't remember it, that's okay. You can go to savillelibrary.org, which is where I am now, and you can go up to the top right of the page under About the Library and click My Library Account. And here we'll have the options available to us to create a new password or reset a password. So if you just click one of those options, it'll just ask you to enter your library card number, and you just hit submit and it will send you an email to reset your password. If you have never created a password, you can do that as well. Just click create a password, and same thing, it'll just ask you for to answer a question or two, and then it'll send you another email to create a password for your account. If you don't have a library card or you've lost your card, you can sign up for a temporary card by going back to the savillelibrary.org and clicking Get a Library Card in red on the left-hand side of our website. And you just fill out a brief form, and it will give you a temporary library card number that you can use while the library is closed. So now that we know our library card number and password, we can log into Ancestry Library Edition, which we can find under Digital at the top of our website. And then we just click Ancestry, it's the top link here. And it'll bring us to a page asking us to log in with our library card number and password, which we just found out. So we'll just enter that information in and click login, and we should be good. Once we're in, we'll be brought to the Ancestry login screen. Here you'll see on the bottom some quick links to different databases, including birth and marriage and death records, military records, pictures, city directories, immigration records, as well as all of the U.S. Census records available. In the center of the page, you'll see a big green button for Begin Searching, which you will click to begin searching Ancestry's databases. Here we'll be given some basic search criteria like name and location. There are also categories for browsing databases by special collections or by certain regions like states or countries. But for our purposes, we're going to be clicking on Show More options, which will give us some more search criteria. You can see we now have options for searching by specific life events like birth, marriage, death. We can also search by family members or occupation, as well as gender, race, or nationalities. Generally, you want to add as much information as you possibly can, especially locations and dates. Even if you have to make an educated guess, it's going to help tremendously when you have to start sorting through some of your search results. Alright, so I'm going to start doing a search here. I'm just going to enter a generic name, and I'm going to start filling out as many fields as I can. When you're doing your search, if you're 100% sure about the spelling of a name or the exact date of an event, you can always check off the exact box, and this will get rid of any results that do not exactly match that criteria. And once we have everything filled out, we're going to click Search, and it will bring us to our results page. So here we see on the results screen we have over 1.5 million hits from our search. On the right hand side you can see each of the records, and we can see, if we look a little bit closer, that there are many different spellings of Jonathan Smith here from different times, different places. So what we're going to do to limit this down is go up to search filters on the top left, where we can see each of our criteria we entered on the previous screen, and next to each one of those is a slider that ranges from broad to exact. And what we can do is we can kind of fine-tune our results by moving these sliders to try to filter out some of the results that we do not want and try to narrow it down to the Jonathan Smith we are looking for. And once we have adjusted the sliders the way we want it, we'll click Update and it'll refresh the results. So now we can see we've filtered down our 1.5 million hits to a much more manageable 3,000. And now we can scroll and start finding a record. So if we go down on the right hand side, we can see a description of each of the records as well as the person that is detailed in that record. To view a record, all you have to do is click the title or click View Image if the record has an image associated with it. So for instance, North Carolina marriage records, I'll click that right now. So here we'll see the complete description of the record as well as a thumbnail of the image of the record on the left. So if I click View here, we'll get a full screen of the record in high definition. So now we can use the controls on the right hand side of the screen to zoom in and pan around the record. We also have options for manipulating the image, like rotating it or flipping the image, as well as downloading and printing options. And if you want the full details of the record, they have that as well as the source if you are citing it for a research paper, as well as some related records. And if you want to save the record for later use, if we go back to the record page, we'll see an option for Send Document in orange on the right hand side. And if we click that, it'll bring up a prompt asking for our email address, and if we enter all of that, it will send a copy of the record as well as the image to your email address so you can have it for later. Alright, that is how you find and save records for later use. Now I'm going to show you a trick for finding individuals whose names you might not be sure of how to spell. Of course, we can still use the search filters on the results page, but this tip will give you a little more control over your search results. So we'll go back to the basic search screen here. So say we didn't know how to spell the last name Smith. We could use what's called wildcards to search for multiple variations of the last name. So, for instance, if we replace the I with a question mark, Ancestry will search for any single letter in replacement of that question mark. So for instance, we would get Smith, S-M-I-T-H, we would also get Smythe, S-M-Y-T-H, or S-M-O-T-H. We could also use an asterisk, which would replace the I with any number of letters or 0 letters. So for instance, SM asterisk TH would find Smith, S-M-I-T-H, it would find Smythe, it would also find Smooth, and it would find just S-M-T-H. And you can mix both the question mark and the asterisk to fine-tune exactly what you're looking for. So for instance, if you did SM question mark TH asterisk, it would pull up Smithers. And don't forget, you can click the exact box underneath the search field to limit the results to your exact spelling or names that sound similar to the one you've entered. So here I'll search for the exact spelling of Smythe, and we can see that the results all have the last names spelled exactly the same as how I had entered it. So there's one more useful feature I want to show you, and that is the public member trees. You can find those at the home screen under Quick Links. It's the top option. So what the public member trees are family trees that have been made by other Ancestry members. So when we first enter the public member trees page, you'll see all of the same search options that we had before. So we can start filling in all of the information we'd entered previously, and it will show us any public member family trees that match these names or criteria. So once we've entered all the information we want, we can hit search at the top in orange, and we'll see a list of all the family trees that have any names that match any of the search terms that we entered before. So I will just click on the top family tree here so we can start exploring. And when you click it, it'll bring you to the individual's information. So this is John David Smith, and we can see his family on the right hand side, some important dates on the left. And if we click up on the top left under View Tree, we will see his entire family tree. So here we can see a pretty traditional family tree. Let me zoom out a little bit, and you can see all of these records were all made by Ancestry members. This is all user made. Not every record is necessarily in a family tree, but it's a good place to start your research because it'll take a lot of the legwork out of trying to find ancestors for any of the family members you're looking for. So let me backtrack out of here a little bit. So now I will show you the Learning Center, which you can find at the top of the page next to message boards. And here we'll find a bunch of research aids that have been created by Ancestry to help you navigate some of their databases. So they have a lot of very useful tricks that you should definitely read through when you get a little more familiar with Ancestry. And finally, I want to show you the Charts and Forms section of Ancestry. These contain a whole bunch of very useful forms that you can use while you're conducting your research to keep track of records you've already found or cite sources that you found very useful, as well as an ancestral chart for mapping your own family trees. So these are all free to download. You can just click any of them and there's a download form button just below all of their descriptions. So that is a brief walkthrough of Ancestry Library Edition. I'm going to wrap up this video by showing you some of the other resources we have for genealogy at Saville Library. So I'm going to go back to the Saville Library website, and from here I'm going to click on Research on the top of our website, and on the left hand side of the next page under Genealogy we'll see a link for Fold 3 and Heritage Quest. These are two other databases. Fold 3 specializes in military records, and Heritage Quest specializes in general genealogical research, kind of like Ancestry, both of which can only be accessed from within the library, so next time you're in you should definitely check those out. And don't forget, we always have print books and ebooks on genealogy that you can always check out. So if I just search genealogy up here in our catalog, you can see we have dozens, if not hundreds, of resources almost always available to be checked out. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Remember, if you have any questions at all, you can always email us at connect@savillelibrary.org, or you can chat with a librarian live by going to savillelibrary.org and clicking the green chat button on the right-hand side of the screen. I hope everyone is staying safe out there. Following Saville Library on Instagram and Facebook for future videos, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.